Auntie.
Hey y'all, it's Bernice, your favorite auntie, and welcome to the Auntie Chronicles. On today's episode, we have my love, my fave, Miss Sheree.
Oh.
Say hey, girl.
Hey, beautiful. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
I'm so happy that you said yes. I did when this topic came up, I definitely thought of you. You were like the first person that popped in my head. I'm like, oh no, I gotta have her on here.
Of course.
So today we'll be talking about mental health through trauma.
Okay.
So everyone goes through certain issues and traumas in life, and not everyone knows how to really navigate through those issues. So what are you going through today? How's your day today?
My day is absolutely fantastic. I'm going to be honest with y'all. When you first sent me the text and then the email for me to come onto the show, I was so excited. So I worked from home today just so people could ask me why I was working from home, just so I can let people know that I was being starred on Auntie Chronicles. So I'm excited. Okay, I gotta makeup is listen, I'm happy to be here with you.
You're looking good.
But the energy in here is amazing. So I feel good. How you doing?
You know, yesterday I was falling apart. I had multiple meltdowns. But today I'm in a much better spirit. So I think this is like the perfect day to talk about like going through like working through your mental health. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So first question for you.
Sure.
How do you overcome your trauma? You can give a background story. You could do all of that, but we want to know how you overcome.
So I'm going to start with the background story just so I can kind of, wind up to that point. So unfortunately, almost 3 years ago, my brother was brutally murdered. And it definitely, hit my family definitely just out of left field. You know what I mean? It was very devastating. My mom actually found him. So that just, totally changed the game. Nevertheless, there was a lot of, puzzles and pieces to put together. And in the beginning, to be honest with you, I stayed busy. I'm going to be very honest with you. I stayed extremely busy, but that was my way of not necessarily coping. Once I realized that, me staying busy wasn't really helping me, unfortunately, I had to reach out for help. So the first thing that I did was I contacted my doctor and I let him know the trauma that I had, went through. Once I contacted him, he, told me to come into his office. He then referred me to a psychologist and a psychiatrist. Now, I'm going to give you a little background on myself. I was a licensed social worker. So for me, it was like, okay, you trying to refer me to the people who going to tell me what I tell my patients? Not happening. So it was definitely like a little bit of a tug and war. But to be very honest with you guys, when I finally agreed to go to the first session, it was like, okay, these are total strangers. They don't know me. So I felt like with my family and some of my friends around me, I had to put on this front. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like everything was okay. And I got to the point where I was like, I can't do this. I have to go get help. So my first step, to be honest with you guys, was, seeing a psychologist and a psychiatrist. Once I did that, though, I still felt like something was missing, believe it or not. I had to dig deep down inside and get in touch with my spirituality. All these years I believed in God, but, I just wasn't as serious as I needed to be. So I decided to go before the Lord and actually get baptized.
Right.
So that turned it up a couple notches for me. And I tell people, if I would have knew what I knew now, I would have been got dipped. Let me tell y'all, I dip, you dip, we dip. Y'all hear me? I dipped in that water. Them doors was like, boom, 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 boom. I was like, oh, okay.
Love it.
Hold on, guys. Stop playing with me. So
people be sleeping on like the power.
Listen, it's the God in me.
Yes.
Listen. The doors opened, y'all. I'm telling y'all, the doors open, and that was the start of my healing process. So seeing the psychiatrist and the psychologist was all good, but God, and I know that sounds cliche, and people don't want to believe this. And when you're going through trauma, I don't think people realize you're at the lowest point in your life. What do you have to lose? I didn't have nothing to lose.
Right.
So I went before him in addition to, seeking out and getting help. And I mean, my healing process started.
Right. And I think there's like this stigma in our community about therapy.
Agreed.
And when I had a miscarriage in 2015. And I remember the church that I was in, I went to my pastor and was talking about it. And my pastor was just like, oh, yeah, one, you can't tell nobody. All right. So mind you, I'm dealing with losing a child, and I'm feeling depressed. I'm feeling all of these emotions I'm going through. You're not even giving me anybody to talk to. You're telling me to keep this inside. I'm like, I can't carry this by myself. And I remember I was at my mom's house, and I was laying in the bed, and my mom always played. This is when Praise 103.9 was on.
Yes.
So she kept the radio on 24/7. Whether she was home or she was not home, the radio had to be on Praise 103.9, because if it wasn't, and she came home, it was gonna be a problem. Okay. So I'm laying in the bed. It was pitch dark like this in the house. There was no lights on. I was the only person there, and I was laying in the bed, and Bitter by Jessica Reedy started playing. And I remember Better by Jessica Reedy started playing. And I remember I just like broke down, and the segment that day that they were talking about is how like black people don't like to go seek therapists. They say pray about it. But God gave us resources in order to help in addition to what we're going through. So that's when I got back into therapy. And honestly, I ain't gonna lie, I got this new therapist. We just started like 2 weeks ago. And she is a blessing from God. Like, she has a background in theology. And so we can incorporate like my spirituality into my therapy sessions. And I love it. Like, that's one of the highlights of my week is going to see my therapist. Because like you, I'm the strong one. People come to me and we have this like facade that we feel like we have to maintain. And we have no one to really like be real with. I could tell her whatever I'm feeling, and I don't even care if she looks at me like I'm crazy. I am paying you to help me process and decompress, and you are worth every single dollar. And I am such an advocate of therapy. Like, it has changed my life. Like, I'm a victim of sexual assault, and if it wasn't for therapy, well, that's a whole nother story for another day. But it caused me to go down this like crazy road. Like, I was a thotty McThotty at one point because of the traumas. But I started going to therapy. I started realizing that the sexual assault, that trauma that I was carrying for so long was negatively affecting my relationships with men. So it took me into therapy. And listen, therapy is the bomb. My parents don't understand why. My dad gonna ask me, "Are you crazy?" I said, "Dad, you know what? Yeah, I am." He was like, and he just looked at, he had no response. Yes. If it makes me crazy that I go to therapy, I am crazy.
That's right.
I would gladly take crazy. So yeah, I'm a definitely big proponent of therapy. So you mentioned God and your faith, and so do you incorporate like prayer, meditation?
Listen,
what is your go-to?
I have worship every day. Worship is very important to me. I have worship every day. I have daily affirmations. When I get up in the morning, y'all, I have to start with a daily affirmation. I have the entire house doing it, okay? I live with my boyfriend, you know what I'm saying? Even when, you know, sometimes his kids are over, or my niece, whoever, my girlfriends, my mom, who was ever over. Once my eyes open, good morning. Repeat after me. Thank you, God, for waking me up. It's simple. It's very simple. Once I'm finished with that, the daily affirmations start. I literally listen to a sermon every morning, whether it's Stephen Furtick, Sarah Jake Roberts, T.D. Roberts. I don't care who it is, but best believe I'm up shouting.
Somebody.
After that, my playlist is on. My playlist is on from Fred Hammond to, I mean, it goes on and on. I mean, it's a whole ritual for me, but that sets the tone for my day.
Right.
And this is what I've been missing for all these years. And even though I believed in God, you know, I wasn't the person walking around talking about God, because I felt like there was something wrong with it. Like, okay, I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that. Not at all. I feel very empowered, you know what I mean? And I want to share this with as many people as I possibly can.
Right.
I want to share it. So for me, worship happens every day.
As it should.
Every single day. Now, Sunday, it might be a little bit longer. I do have a church that I'm affiliated with. However, since I got baptized back in July, I'm still searching around for a church. I feel like, you know, buying a church is like buying a home, buying a car. I don't think it's a rush. I have to get my feel and really, you know, get my feet wet. So Sundays are like more of my hours of worship.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I get it. I get it. So how do you decompress on a regular basis? Because life is hard.
Life is hard. I'm going to be honest with you guys. How I decompress just from life in general, I meditate and I like to sit in silence. I used to be very busybody because I think with all the trauma I went to, I was running from something. So I always wanted to be out eating at the mall, at happy hour. I always wanted to be doing something. But once I started to really sit still, I started to really hear what was going on in the universe and what God was really telling me and talking to me and saying to me. Right. So for me, meditation, sitting silently and writing. I write a lot. I write just because I can write. I ain't want to bring my book because I ain't want y'all being here talking trash about me, but I write and I write and I write and I write. I even rewrote. Listen, I rewrote the email that you sent me. Why? All I had to do was screenshot it, but when you write it, it's a reality. So I definitely do write.
It's so funny because my therapist, she was like, so we're going to incorporate journaling into these sessions. I'm not really sure how you feel about it. I was like, girl, let's go. I'm like, this is in my pocketbook. This one is actually a very special one. My first broker, I'm a realtor, y'all. Follow me, Sold by Bernice on Instagram. I'm a realtor, and my first broker, Mr. Trent, knows that I like journals. So I'm always writing. I have to write my thoughts down. Like if I can't sleep at night, I have to write. I love to go like hiking and stuff like that. I take my books with me and I'll sit down on a rock and I will write. Like I love writing and like getting it all out because, you know, it feels good. Yes. But even when you're going back and looking at where you came from, it's like, child, I found some of these journals from when I was in like high school and college. I'm gonna tell you one thing ain't never changed. I've always been looking for love. like that's one thing. God, where can I find this love that I am looking? Like literally since I was in like the 8th grade, I'm like, what the heck is going on? All my life, I just wanted to be loved. But journaling is so awesome. It is. This one says, always remember you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, smarter than you think, and more loved than you will ever know. And I remember when he gave this to me, he had took a trip to, I don't even know where he went. He came back from a trip and he was like, oh, Bernice, I seen this and I thought of you and I had to get it for you. And I read it and I got the chills and I got tears in my eyes. I'm like, oh, Trent, why would you do that? But I absolutely love journaling and writing and everything else.
I keep all my books for that same reason. You know what I'm saying? I like to go back and be like, okay, so this is where I was, but this is where I am. Right. And every time I go back and I look at it, I'm like, wow, like
the growth.
Just the growth and the level up is just, you know,
maturity.
It's the maturity. You get what I'm saying?
I was
the way you look
off.
at stuff. Like, it's like, wow, this new vision. You know what I'm saying? It's a new vision. But something else that I recently started doing to decompress is actually working on a few of my companies that I started. Yay. So you're looking at the founder of Tragedy into Triumph LLC. I'm so excited.
I love it.
It launched January 25th. I have a few things under Tragedy into Triumph: motivational speaking, ambiance curator / hosting events, credit repair, and professional business etiquette.
Because some of these businesses,
I'm gonna tell you what happened.
Need etiquette
during COVID.
They are horrible.
During COVID, I wanted to support businesses. I'm gonna say that. I ain't gonna get into the nitty gritty, okay? Right. And in the process of me supporting businesses, I really realized the lack of knowledge people had. Now, I've been in corporate America since I was 19, and it was a curse being black in corporate America at 19. I'm gonna say that. However, it's a blessing.
It's a blessing.
So with that being said, the experience. So when I was going through this, trying to support these people, and I'm like, I can't support this. Instead of me complaining about it, I said, what are you going to do about it? Right. Everybody's so willing to complain. Oh, what are you going to do about it? Let me put you on. Right. I know sometimes people meet me in certain, settings and they think this and think that. Never judge a book by its cover. I'm in corporate America all day, every day.
But one of the things to feed off what you were saying, one of the things that I'm learning, and I heard a preacher was saying that whenever you find something that troubles your spirit, like it don't sit right with you, like you in a job like that, why are they even doing it like that? That's really a calling for you to try to go in there and change that thing. So that's pissing you off, and now you've turned that into a business.
That's what happened. The same thing happened with, house shopping. I had this mindset, you know what I'm saying, about what it is that I thought and what you think and everything else. And I remember my initial conversation in regards to housing and Airbnbs was with you. And you was like, listen, you're not ready yet, and that's okay, but this is what you need to know. And I was just like, wow. And I will never forget that conversation. So again, I had this certain thought process, and I was able to say, no, Bernice was right. She was right. And this is how you do things, and you can set yourself up and you know, stop renting and renting to own. So it's just simple. It was little things that happened, and I just was like, what are you waiting for?
Right.
What are you waiting for?
Right.
And boom.
And
boom,
here
boom,
we
boom.
are.
Here we are.
Tragedy into triumph. Like that is a really good way to decompress, especially because now you can, not only are you able to release the trauma and the pain and like channel it into your business, but now you can make bread off of it too. Like
who don't want to make some bread?
Like, right? Who doesn't want to make some money? Like it's like super, super dope. And I really love that for you. So you went to the doctor, went to the psychiatrist,
Correct.
psychologist,
Yep.
got baptized.
Yep.
What other steps have you taken to help deal with your brother?
So another thing that my family and I weren't doing, we weren't talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like avoid my niece. My niece is 10. Taylor, I love you. I would avoid her. I would avoid having certain conversations with her. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. When it first happened, it was always bittersweet to see her because she looks just like him. Like, I'm talking about, me and my brother have the same mom and same dad. We grew up in the same house. The way she walks, the way she talks, the way her body language. And it would be like, I would be like so happy, but then I would get a little sad for a minute, right? So I would sometimes try to avoid her, you know what I'm saying? Not talk about it. My mom too, never. Because I always wanted my mom to think, I'm the rock. You know what I mean? I did this. We gonna get through this. And I had to realize, y'all, it wasn't healthy. So we had to start having family therapy sessions where we were just in there and we were talking. And my mom and I got to a point where it was like, well, Mom, I don't want to talk about it. Well, I don't want to talk about it. And it was like, we can't do this. So family therapy was incorporated on our own. We didn't go get no help because, again, I have a license in social work. So I'm like, okay, we can do this. Was it hard? Yes, it was. It absolutely was hard. And then I started visiting the cemetery a lot. It helps me. Some people it doesn't help, but it helps me. I go there. I just be sitting there talking. Like, you ain't going to believe this. And do that. I know he'd be like, girl, go home. Why did you come here today? You still talking? But again, I had to figure out things that helped me. Right. Everybody is different. So for whatever reason, family therapy and then going to the it helps me.
Yeah, I think talking about it in families, like talking about things in families are very, 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 very important. So I actually, at one point, brought my parents into my therapy sessions. Not together, separately, because if I'd have brought them together, we'd have never got anything accomplished. And the crazy part is, like, so for those who don't know, I'm Haitian. Okay, Caribbean,
Trinidad in the building.
Trinidad in the building. I'm Haitian. Both my parents are from Haiti, came here in their late teens, early 20s. You know what I'm saying? So they're still like Haitian to the core.
To the bone.
You know, and my dad is, I love him to pieces because he's changing. He's become a changed man, and I love the man that he is today. But growing up, he was the stereotypical Haitian dictator dad. Like, this is what it's going to be. It's my way or the highway. I'm taking care of home, so I don't need to be there and I don't need to interact with these children. And it just was like so hard. And then, so I'm a person, I need words of affirmation. I need acts of service, you know what I'm saying? I need a little bit of my love languages met. And my dad is a gifts person. Like, he's, I give you this, that should be good enough. And that wasn't good enough for me. So, you know, I had my daddy issues or whatever. And I thought bringing my dad into the session was going to be the worst. I was like, oh my God, we ain't going to get nothing resolved. It's going to be so horrible. My therapist was like, no, just, you know, let's do it. So my dad comes in the session, and it was, I think, the game changer between my relationship with my father. So at one point he was talking about how, she just used to have these moments and she was just acting crazy and I just didn't feel like I had to deal with it. You know, I was giving them money. So what did it matter? So then, you know, I went into telling him why I needed him to be there. And I remember my therapist said, you said I noticed, you know, they be writing, you know, I noticed you said that she was acting crazy. Did you ever stop to ask her why, like what was going on. And my dad was like, no. So he turns to me, Bernice, would you like to tell him? And I'm looking at my therapist like, I want to kick you in your face. Because I had never said this to anyone in my family. So I was telling my dad how I got sexually assaulted my freshman year in college. And when I say I had never seen that look, my dad, I could tell he just broke right then and there. Like his eyes got red. He didn't cry, but the tears was there. Like I can see and sense the emotion, him being there. And it changed everything from that moment. I mean, we still was gang warring a little bit. We had like another bad period, but for a period of time, probably like 2-3 years, he was calling to check up on me. He always wanted to make sure I was okay. Like, do you need anything? Like, he was like I would say he was a little overcompensating for what he did, like what he didn't do when he wasn't there, and that was good. My mother was a waste of time and a waste of money. I love her to pieces, and me and her, we have these conversations all the time because I'm like, my mom is the most defensive person ever. Like, all she wants to hear is you love what she does, and that's it. If you have one complaint as to something that she did or didn't do or whatever the case may be, she will like, oh, well, I don't understand. I'm like, chill out. Like, chill out. Like, she has this thing where she says, well, I don't have no kids or I don't have no husband. I be like, what? Like, what are you talking about? You do. She's like, well, that helps me. If I call y'all and y'all say y'all don't want to do something, that helps me just live better, because if I think in my head I don't have any children, then there's nobody for me to do it for me. And I just like, you're sick. like you need help, So I brought her into the session, and it helped me realize who my mom was. I think that's what it did. It changed the dynamic, and it helped me see like, okay, this is who she is. I have to deal with her in that way. So it wasn't a complete waste, but at the same time, I'm just like, Mom, like, you need to do better. But
it's always hard doing family therapy. To be honest with you, my mom is very receptive. You know what I mean? My mom is very supportive. So having conversations with my mom are just absolutely amazing. We agree to disagree, and and we can move forward. My dad, on the other hand, is a disciplinarian. You know what I'm saying? My dad was in the Marines, and both of my parents are from Trinidad. My dad went straight from Trinidad to the Army at 1920. So that goes to tell you.
Right.
And he was in the Marines, which is like, you know what I'm saying? My mom was always very cool, calm, meek, very reserved, kind of bougie, you know what I mean? But just always understood. I can have conversations with my mom. So to be honest with you, I have never even, I invited my dad to a therapy session, and that was like, yeah, I'm not coming to that. So it is what it is. However, therapy has allowed me to accept my dad for who he is.
Yes.
So I don't expect certain things from him that I know I'm not going to get. Now, what I can say is, after my brother passed away, has he tried to overcompensate? Of course, but I'm Dad, I love you, but no disrespect. I'm pushing 36. You know what I mean? So it's not really too much overcompensating you could do. Like, where you at? What you doing? Did you in the house? Like, what if I'm not? Like, what do you want to do? I live alone. I have my own house. Like, what do you want to do? But I think therapy, family therapy with like me, my mom, and my sister, it was very well needed. With my mom's sister as well, because me and my sister, we have different moms. So it was just needed, and it helped me to get through. Now, again, I'm with you. I felt like, fine, one parent, you know what I'm saying? I guess I couldn't have it both ways, but me going through these processes allowed me to accept my dad. So I have to agree with you.
And I think that's like a process. Sometimes we have to realize, like, our parents definitely have a big impact on our mental health.
Agreed.
Like, they do. And just watching how so my mom's always been like that strong woman, you know what I'm saying? That strong woman who just handles everything on her own. She don't really try to ask for help. If she's struggling, you would never know. If she's broken, you would never know. The first time I seen my mama cry was when they were putting her dad in a mausoleum when he passed away. And I ain't seen my mom cry. I seen my mom cry 2 times. The second time, my little brother did something real goofy, but that's another story for another day. But I seen her cry 2 times, but so she never really worked through emotions. Got it. So for me, I never really worked through emotions. It was like, all right, we just going whatever. I'm having a moment. I didn't know it was depression. I didn't know it was, I didn't know I can't breathe. I need to take a minute and sit down. I didn't know that was a panic attack. I just thought something was wrong with me.
Something was wrong.
My mom, all my life, she called me Miss Thang. Miss Thang is having a moment, everybody. Leave her alone. And I used to be like, what? And that would make me mad because
madder.
like you're not really helping in this moment. You're not trying to figure out how I am, what's going on with me, why I'm feeling this way. It was just, she's crazy. And I'm like, why I gotta be crazy, But so going through what you went through, what is your advice for others who may have gone through it? Because we know we're in Philly.
It's inevitable.
So
you know what I'm saying? It's nothing
it's happening every day. What is your advice to other women like you who are in your position?
My advice, honestly and truthfully, as far as, trauma and mental health is you have to take time out to listen to your body and listen to yourself. I know you might have a lot of voices going on in your head, especially when trauma is happening. You know what I'm saying? You got this voice telling you to, yeah, da-da-da, and this voice telling you da-da-da. You have to really take time out and listen to yourself. In addition to that, you have to take care of your body, but you have to give yourself time to process it. I think sometimes we want to hurry up and jump to the end. You can't do that. You have to process it. So you have to allow yourself to go through certain emotions. However, as you're allowing yourself to go through those emotions, learn your triggers. Learn. If I don't know anything, I know my triggers. So you can't even attempt to get me out of character at this point because I'm like, I see you coming. And sometimes even with that, you might feel like a punk. You might feel like a nut. You might feel like, man, I got to walk out of this room and all these people are going to see me. But guess what? When you get to a certain caliber in your life, there's certain things you just do not want to allow to even come into your dome, into your presence. You get what I'm saying to you? And you have to protect your peace at all costs.
How did you learn your triggers?
Okay, so how I learned,
because I'm still learning.
How I learned my triggers was if I already know that the energy is kind of iffy and I want to go towards it, I want to be set off. Because if I already know, I have on green today, guys. So if I know green makes me mad, I'm going to stay away from green.
Right.
But if I'm in the mood, you know what I'm saying, and I see the green and I'm like, I'm going to put it on today because it ain't going to make me mad. Why?
Right.
Why would you do that?
Right.
And sometimes, I'm going to be real with y'all, as you're learning your triggers, you'll learn that some things you thought triggered you really don't. It might have been the company that you kept, some of the people that you were around.
Yes.
So you also have to be aware of who you're pouring into and if they're pouring back into you.
Yes.
This energy I have, listen, this is protected. This is expensive. This energy is expensive, so you cannot. So I tell people all the time, the most important thing is listening to yourself, listening to your body, learning your triggers, and getting the help that you need. There is nothing wrong with therapy. There is nothing wrong with therapy. There's nothing wrong with venting. There's nothing wrong with writing. There's nothing wrong with taking a ride. There's nothing wrong with vacationing. However it is that you choose to, deal with your trauma, you have to deal with it. Because if you don't, you'll have Band-Aids on top of Band-Aids on top of Band-Aids that you'll have to take off. And that's what honestly happened to me, y'all, when my brother was murdered. I had Band-Aids on top of Band-Aids, and I'm thinking like, okay, I'm really angry that my brother got murdered. No, I'm really angry that when my mom and dad split up, we didn't have a better relationship with my dad. I'm really mad that when I grew up, I wanted to grow up and live in a townhouse condo. I'm really mad because my mom was at every parents association board without my dad. Like, it was just layers on top of layers on top of layers.
Right.
So you have to deal with it, because if not, you're walking around and that toxicity you have, you're passing it along to the next person.
Right.
And they don't deserve it.
That energy thing is super, super. Like, I had like a few friends that I mean, I still love them, and I'll always, if they call me up, I'll always be there. But I realized being with them, being around them, really like drained my mental.
Drained you.
And it's like, I can't do this. Like, it can't be 7:00 in the morning and you talking about you tired and you had a bad day. You just woke up. What happened from the time you rolled over, brushed your teeth, and called me that
But God woke you up.
Right.
You know how many people did not wake up this morning?
Okay.
And you're mad because God woke you up?
It was
He
just
woke you up with a
crazy.
purpose.
It's like that energy, you can feel it. So
Agreed.
and it hurt because like I said, I love these people. I love being around them. I love being in their presence. But I also, like you said, I had to begin to protect my space.
But you know what else?
Protect my energy, because I pour into you. But if I keep having to pour into you, I get drained. I get tired. I can't even do it. And if now I feel bad that I'm having a happy day.
That's right.
I'm having a great day.
And I can't share it with you.
I can't share it with you because you're having a bad day. And I don't want you to feel some type of way because you're having a bad day and I'm having a good day. So now I'm going through like this. Or I have to just like stop answering your phone calls or stop, being around you. I don't like that feeling. So that energy thing is super, super discernment.
Listen,
my spirit of discernment.
My spirit of discernment is something real.
It's high when it comes to things like that. And like I said, I've had to disassociate myself with some people that I absolutely love, but I have to love them from a distance because they were draining me, and I just couldn't do it no more. I'm in a space, I'm positivity. Like, I want us to grow. Of course, we all have stuff that we deal with on an everyday basis. Not saying that if you're going through an issue, I don't want to hear about it. But I'm a problem solver.
That's right.
Right. So if you have a problem,
that's right.
What is the solution? What can we do to get you to the next place? I don't want to keep hearing this 5, 6, 7 times. Like, okay, you're sad today. You're sad tomorrow. You're sad the next day. It's okay to feel it.
Yes, it is.
But you cannot stay there. What are we going to do to get you out of there? I'm big. Go to see a therapist. Go see a therapist. But even if it's just like 2-3 sessions, go see a therapist and see what it's going to do for you.
But elevation requires separation, Bernice, and that's what people don't understand. That was a part of my healing. I had to realize so many people were still dealing with the old Sheree. I'm not the old Sheree anymore.
Right.
It's very simple. So in the process of me glowing and growing, I'm sorry if you felt like I left you, but guess what? I shouldn't still be having the same conversations with you that I'm having with you 5 years ago, because you're not having the same conversations with me you're having 5 years ago.
You're not.
And it's okay, but guess what? It's either you adapt to the new Sheree or you stay where you at. Right. And it's no disrespect, but that is what you call dead weight.
Right.
In this world we live in, Bernice, we can't do that.
Right.
We just can't.
We can't take that weight with us. And it's hard because that plays with my mental too, because it's like, these are people that I've been friends for years. And I've always wanted to be that friend that had, we've been friends for like 20 years.
Me too.
We've been friends for this. But at the same time, what is the quality of that relationship?
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? It's good to have years.
Yes, it is.
But is it a quality relationship? Can we grow from each other?
That's right.
And I was talking to a friend and they did not like me saying that. And I was just like, listen, if this is a give and take relationship. If you cannot, and it doesn't have to be monetarily. Like, if I could just be in your spirit and you uplift me, if you just give me some words of encouragement, if I, come around and we can enjoy each other's presence and there's no gossiping, no negativity, like no, dudes ain't nothing. Like, I don't want to, I want to get married. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to keep putting out in the energy because, there's life and death in the power of your tongue. Yes. So if I keep speaking that, niggas ain't shit, that's what I'm with.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying? Like,
that's right.
I don't want to have those conversations no more. Like, I want us to grow. And it's like, I'm not overdrafting for you no more. I love you. You know what I'm saying? I'll make a couple deposits, but I need you to make some deposits this way.
There it is.
Because if you keep withdrawing and now we overdrafted, that $35 fee, it hits hard.
And now I don't have nothing to give myself.
Exactly.
Because I done gave it to you.
So it's like relationships now are like give and take. And you got to watch that energy. You got to just separate yourself. And there's nothing wrong with the separation.
No, it's not.
You know what I'm saying? So.
That's when the elevation begins. Look at me now, Sock. I'm just playing.
So, do you have any last words for the people, Sheree?
Listen. I've been saying this for the longest time. Continue to ask God to order your steps. Heal. Take the time out you need to heal. And stop transferring that toxicity to other people. They don't deserve it.
They don't. So, Sheree, where can they find you?
Oh, I thought you would never ask. So you guys can find me. I actually have 2 Instagram pages. One is my entertainment page. So it's Miss Johnson, If You Nasty.
The parties be popping.
Popping. MISSJOHNSON IFU Nasty. And my business page is Tragedy into Triumph LLC, literally spelt the same way. You can also reach me at email tragedyintotriumphllc@gmail.com. And you can reach me via my cell, 215-495-7521. Don't play on my phone because I block you.
And you can catch us or me and my folks and my episodes on the Auntie Chronicles Inc. on Instagram, on Facebook, the AuntieChroniclesInc.com. And then if you just want to see how it really goes down, you could follow me at Miss Ladybug 1311, MS Ladybug 1311. So catch you guys next time.
Auntie.